I finished.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Goel Sahab. We are very thankful for your feedback, and we will disturb you time to time. Now I will call Irulandi Sahab. Irulandi Sahab, मेरे ख्याल जितने भी हमारे यहाँ पर ऑफिसर्स हैं, ही इज द मोस्ट एक्सपीरियंस जिन्होंने किसानों के साथ काम किया है। तमिलनाडु में पूरा एक एक्सटेंशन विंग था, उसमें ये चीफ भी रहे और डिफरेंट पोजीशंस पे रहे और काफी लॉन्ग टाइम पे रहे हैं, तो एक्सटेंशन का बहुत बड़ा अनुभव है। अब बेसिकली ये फॉरेस्ट लैंड है, फॉरेस्ट लैंड पे अगर प्लांटेशन उगानी है तो ओनली लार्ज फार्मर उगा सकता है या प्लांटेशन कंपनीज उगा सकती है या इंडस्ट्री उगा सकती है। मेरे हिसाब से तो तीन ही एजेंसी मुझे नजर आई। तो मैं रलंडी साहब से ये जानना चाहूंगा कि वो बताएं कि कैसे इस पॉलिसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करें कि जो चीज किसान उगा रहा है वो फॉरेस्ट लैंड में उग जाए। इतना इतना हम क्यों इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं? इंपोर्ट करके अपने फॉरेन एक्सचेंज का भी नुकसान कर रहे हैं, किसानों का भी नुकसान कर रहे हैं। जैसे ही बाहर से इंपोर्ट होता है वैसे ही उसका रेट जो है किसान की लकड़ी का कम हो जाता है। तो एरलेंडी साहब, यू आर वेलकम, प्लीज शेयर योर व्यूज।
Thank you, Sabraji. Of course, the earlier speaker, I think, they have shared a positive experience. I too, it's a good move, especially for, improving the degraded forest. Though we claim that we have got around 23 or 24% of geographical area of India covered with the forest cover, but still there are a sizable, extent of, the forest area density has to be improved. Because I was going through one of the USA, survey report, they quote this just for your information I am talking, that is not to take it as a official this one, figure. They say, through their survey, they say India has got only 15% of the forest area which was to be considered as a forest. The remaining area, they say it needs a lot of development. I too, agree, because I served in nearly 10 district as a territorial, district forest officer. There are areas where need to be, improve through artificial regenerations. Of course, the species introductions may vary, depends on the requirement of the particular state, and as well as the the people who are living around. You all aware that of late, I think we focus more of joint forest management, because whatever the area we are focusing for this particular development of plywood or any other this one, we need definitely we need the support of the local people. Because if you want to, somebody was mentioning the protection part has to be taken by the forest department. Yes, I agree to that. But with the available, the forest, this one, and the extent of their workload, they alone cannot, protect the forest because of so many reasons. So definitely, I think we have to take the, people who are living around that this one. The area where we are planning to develop, we must take the people also along with that, make a people participation the program. So which will definitely will give you a good dividend for the purpose. I think we are planning to have this development of the pulpwood or any other minor forest produce. It will help. One more thing, I think. You all must be aware, of late, in fact, the most of the pulpwood requirement, we have got two, this one, paper industry here in Tamil Nadu, the TNPL, Tamil Nadu Newsprints Limited, this is a government undertaking, another one is SSI. These two, paper mills are, running for the last so many years. Of course, initially they were using only the bamboo as a raw material. Subsequently, because of the processing difficulty and all, they have switched over to eucalyptus and casuarina and other few species. But now, though initially, just over 10, 15 years back, people, especially the farmers, who are, like to, plant eucalyptus and earn something from out of from the land. But of late, the lot of, public, especially some 2, 3 districts where these pulpwood plantations are being raised, both in the forest land as well as in the farmers' land. They are, making a lot of agitations, telling that there are a lot of, this one, water absorption, all so many reasons they say. They are not, coming forward to grow pulpwood species in their farmers' land. At the same time, they are, objecting also. They are making a lot of agitation against the government not to, further expand of the eucalyptus in the forest area. Otherwise, the eucalyptus planted in the forest area only was the main supply of the raw material to these two, paper mills. So we must, when we develop this kind of development, we must take into the consideration of the local, the community also. So that will, help for the success of our program. So the first round, I think I'll finish with this point. I'll come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Landy. Now I will call Dr. Murthy. He's also working with the farmers and retired as PCCF in Karnataka. Karnataka is a very conservation-oriented state. Once I was inaugurating a workshop in Ipriti, Bangalore, and by seeing my presentation, one of the officer of Karnataka left my presentation because I was too much focused on eucalyptus. And one of the more comment I will like to make about the Karnataka, one of the ex of Karnataka said, we are having 100-year-old teak plantations, but we are not felling it and converting into a miscellaneous forest. I couldn't understand why we raised that plantation, managed for 100 years, and now we are allowing it to miscellaneous. So now I will call Dr. Murthy to share his views, how we can make this policy successful.
Good morning to all. I am heading a startup called Treelands Products and Services. Can you hear?
Yeah.
So, we are heading this small organization. I am heading this small organization, and we are working very closely with farmers who have participated in agroforestry programs, raised a lot of trees, and they are now struggling to market their produce. So in Karnataka, the situation is that Melia dubia is a very popular plywood species, and eucalyptus is the pulpwood species, and of course, silver oak is very commonly and large-scale plantations were raised by coffee estate owners. These are the 3 species of industrial importance. Of course, teak is raised by farmers, a lot of farmers, and they are finding it very hard to sell. It is selling in terms of tonnage, which is very strange in forestry. We always know that wood is sold in cubic meters if it is timber, and if it is, of course, plywood, we sell it in tonnage. Now, Melia dubia is nearly exhausted because the initial enthusiasm or euphoria, whatever we call, that has waned, and then they did not get the expected price. They got somewhere around sometimes from 6,000, and at some point of time when Gujarat industries were also coming to Karnataka, they managed to get some 13,000 rupees. At 13,000, farmers were really excited, but that was there only for a short while. And then industry started getting some eucalyptus from South Africa and some other countries. The prices fell back to 10,000, and so now it stays almost between 10,000 and 11,000 rupees. That's the price. Even that price is attractive, but farmers expect that price to be paid at the farm gate itself, whereas the industry wants to pay that price at the industry gate. So there are a number of processes, cutting, loading, transportation, all those things are there. And then the industry also, anybody who is working, logging agency will also expect certain amount of margin. All those things the farmers are not willing to see it, and neither industry is willing to pay. So both the people expect, the farmers expect, okay, give me 10,000 at the farm gate. Industry says, give me for 11,000 at the industry gate. It is not workable. So we have done this mealia duga trade for 3 years, and then we found it very difficult. So we are not doing it. The eucalyptus, there is a ban, but it is not a complete ban. There was pressure from some political interests and some environmental groups to ban this completely. There is a restriction on government planting eucalyptus, but there is no restriction on farmers to plant eucalyptus. But government nurseries will not raise seedlings and supply. So it is for entirely for the private sector, and some people are raising clonal seedlings and distributing to farmers. Farmers are planting. That is going on. But however, the policy is not in friendly to the eucalyptus cultivation. So many farmers who had eucalyptus, after cutting, they have removed the stumps also, sold off. Then the fresh areas are much less than what is being extracted. So maybe over the next 10-15 years, the eucalyptus will nearly disappear from Karnataka, from the farmlands. Of course, there are a lot of eucalyptus plantations on the government land, particularly raised by the forest corporations and also some public sector industries, which initially had a lot of land and they've raised some tree growth there. So they have some eucalyptus trees which are quite big enough and can be good for even plywood also. Those plantations do exist, but it is not a popular species as of now. But some farmers, some nursery entrepreneurs are taking interest. Now the silver oak thing is continuing. A lot of coffee estate owners want to cut and sell. They have huge amount of stock. Again, price is the issue. And second issue in coffee estates is that the coffee plant should not be damaged. The coffee is getting very good price internationally. So they put a kind of caveat saying that if you plant me one coffee plant, you have to pay me 2,000 rupees. So because of that, it is not easy to harvest silver oak trees and sell. But otherwise, there is plenty of silver oak. If you have advanced machinery, there won't be any dearth for silver oak in Karnataka. That's the overall scenario. Coming to this policy of government leasing the government forest lands for planting of trees and raising industrial plantations and all that, I have my own reservation, but this is one step forward compared to our policy position for many years. So industries have been requesting for allocation of wastelands or degraded forest lands almost for 3 to 4 decades. Since 1990, we have been hearing this, that please give us some land, we will raise. At some point of time, the cooperatives from Anand, they also came up, set up some societies they set up and they were given some land. But that experiment did not succeed. They were given some community wastelands and some cooperative societies were set up. But that was not a very big success. We had some trials in Karnataka, but that has petered out. That is not there anymore. Now, coming to the current policy of forest land being given to industries for raising plantations, there is a good possibility. I don't say that it is not possible to raise industrial plantations, but there will be quite a few constraints. We have to retain the existing growth, then the quality of land, what they will offer may be highly degraded. It may not support very rapid growth of traditional species. Even eucalyptus also some places may struggle to come up. What to talk of other species. So the growth may not be as expected. And I would wonder if any industry would be interested to invest on such a degraded land and hope to go harvest good returns from those lands. But medicinal plants is, of course, a different story. They may not require huge bulk, but the quality of produce and the density of planting may be more important in for medicinal plant purposes. Some medicinal plant industries are also interested. So they may come forward and their purpose might be served by this policy. But I wonder if industry can step in with investment and do it, partly because the land will continue to be with the forest department and the management will also continue to be vested in the forest department. So the forest department is one department which is not easy to talk and deal with at the ground level for outsiders. For forest officers, it is fine. For outside industries, it is quite tough to deal. So, given that culture in the department and given the kind of quality of land, I would feel that it will be difficult, but some pilots can be taken. In Karnataka, one more experiment is in the offing. We have site-specific micro plans being prepared. Now, in some areas where the mining is being done in a big way, they are coming up with them now. Earlier, traditionally, we had only working plans for the whole division, which may be 75,000 hectares, 1 lakh hectares or something. We will have a working plan. Now we are coming down to reserve forest, smaller reserve forest, even if it is 100 hectares, 200 hectares, 500 hectares. We are preparing detailed plans. That is funded by the mining. Some corpus has been set up by the Supreme Court, and there is a special purpose vehicle constituted in government of Karnataka. It is called KMREC, and that corporation has accumulated huge amount of fund, and they are willing to give about 2,500 crores for forestry. So in the forestry, what they are trying to do is each reserve forest, they are all mostly degraded. They are in the Bellary region, highly degraded forest lands. So they are preparing detailed project reports, which in technical terms are micro plans for each reserve forest. And this is a new introduction to the forest department. Earlier, we had only working plans at a larger level, macro level, per district or per division. Now this is going down to each reserve forest, 100 hectares or 200 hectares. Specific detailed projects are being prepared, and they're not oriented towards industry anyways. That is meant for conservation forestry. But the principles of how to prepare detailed project reports, they are engaging external experts to prepare DPRs. The DPRs are prepared not by the forest department officers because there are too many of them to be prepared. So there are some external consultants who are getting specialized in preparing DPRs, and some principles of the DPR can be borrowed. And maybe some pilots can start if an industry is willing to experiment. Maybe some pilots can start in Karnataka, but I'm not sure whether Karnataka government, state government, being ruled by another party, opposition party, will align favorably with the central policy of leasing industrial land. So, for political reasons, the state always opposes the central policies. I don't know whether the state will agree to this policy of industry investing on degraded forest lands, preparing DPRs, investing, and then harvesting at some point of time at an agreed rate, sharing at an agreed ratio. So I have my own reservations, but nevertheless, it is one step forward. And then let us see what the government of India does on with respect to identification of what kind of areas. Now, because there are lots of fears. These fears are being expressed for quite some time since 1990. So those fears cannot to be washed out or swept away by just suddenly by one order or anything. The fears will continue to lurk, and we'll have to really see how to identify the areas that the industries are also degraded for us, but they're reasonably good enough, reasonably fertile, reasonably flat, reasonably good for the industry to invest. The next step may be to either ask Survey of India, the Forest Survey of India, or some independent agency to look at what kind of degraded forest areas are available in the state, which can be offered to industry for planting, and then what kind of joint ventures or a memorandum of understandings we can enter into, what kind of sharing we can do, what species to raise, then how do we conserve whatever rootstock is available. Those will be the issues because local communities will also agitate in the sense they will say that we will be losing grazing land, it will become monoculture, the water quality will go bad, water consumption, this, that, all kinds of environmental issues will be raised. So we'll have to really check out whether this policy will work on a pilot basis. And I will be glad if some industries come forward, some 4 or 5 pilots can start somewhere. It may still require some kind of a tacit support from government of India and also state government. So without that, it will be very difficult to move forward. So I stop at this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Murthy. You have given a new angle of medicinal plant, and it is just addition to my knowledge. Such companies may also come up. This is a really good thing. If the medicinal plants, we are having a lot of potential for export, and if they come up, they should be welcome. Not only we have to grow the wood, we have to grow for medicinal plant also. So now I will call Dr. MP Singh and
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute, sir.
yes.
Just a minute. I want to respond to your this one comment. Now we have prepared a couple of medicinal plant projects, and also we have prepared a draft medicinal plant policy for the state government from our organization. At that time, we have had a deep study and interacted with many medicinal Ayurveda Ayush industries. Those industries are interested, and for them, large areas or rich lands are not required. They require specific kind of areas because certain medicinal plants are found growing in rocky areas. So it is possible that medicinal plant industries may be interested and they can get the benefit sooner. They need not wait even the 10 years or 15 years. Maybe we should experiment with medicinal plants because their gestation period will be some 2 years or 3 years. And then the requirements can be easily met from degraded forest lands, and that will not damage the native vegetation also. So the potential I see is more for Ayurvedic industry than for the wood-based industry.
That is really good. What orientation you have given to us? It is a new orientation. And just I will add that when you are cultivating medicinal plants in farmlands, it is changing the quality. But when you will cultivate medicinal plants in forest lands, that problem will not arise. So it is a good opportunity what you are talking.
Yeah, they're also looking forward to it. The industry is looking forward. Medicinal Ayush industry is
So
looking forward.
it is open for every product. It is not meant for only wood. It is open for every industry. And why? Because there is no lease. Still, we are calling it a lease. There is no lease at all in this system. Any industry may come, not only industry, even a large farmer may come, even a plantation companies may come. Anyone who is interested in this venture, it is not only open for industry, it is for any private entity who want to invest money in this sector. This sector needs money, I tell you. If it is properly, investment is made and both party gains, nothing is bad about it, what I feel.
पीछे दीवार में मैंने पूछा है कल पानी पानी से आ रखा था दोनों का
Thank you, sir. I'm done.
Thank you, Dr. Murthy.